Hi, who are you and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Chris Russell, hailing out of Plano, Texas at the moment, originally from the Northeast, Massachusetts. Um, my background, I was in the US Army, working in intelligence, transitioned over to cybersecurity, worked at a managed detection and response firm for a number of years, and just recently I moved over to head out the InfoSec program at a fintech organization.
Amazing. So how did you get involved in application security from the army, for example?
Well, in my days in the Army, working around classified systems, part of our responsibility is always making sure there was some sort of OPSEC around it, and not just from a user perspective, but actually the systems perspective. I deployed into combat situations, and I had to set up, our local network and make sure that we could write reports and intel things. And it was my responsibility to make sure that just there wasn't basic vulnerabilities exposed by someone just plugging in a USB or plugging into the LAN. So it kind of got entrained in the back of my head back then. But more recently, in my managed detection response background, hosting a lot of services, automating a lot of things on our own with Terraform and Salt, I started seeing we can automate technical debt if we're not checking these golden images early, if our baselines aren't good to begin with, if we don't harden the image that we then replicate 100 times. Instead of having one problem we fix once, we have 100 problems that we've done to ourselves. So that's when it really started hitting home for me, when we actually started building our own services.
Which very nicely leads to my next question is what gets you most excited about AppSec?
I think that's the aspect of it. It's very uncharted territory. Unlike a lot of other disciplines in security, there's all these frameworks and we already know how everything works. This is where bleeding edge technology is. There's new ways of interacting. There's new experiences with web applications, and security continuously has to adapt. There are parts of this where people have to be very creative, problem solve, and those are things that I really enjoy. Technology doesn't always lead the process and everything. However, there are some technologies that do change how we do business. And I feel like we're with AppSec, we're starting to see some technology actually drive some of the process now.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And what would you want to do most as an ambassador?
I'm really passionate about training and bringing people's level of understandings up in a very free and open way. I feel like we need to open up the doors and get everyone aware of what they can do, instead of having all these silos where we're not sharing information, we're not sharing training. If you want to be an expert in this, you have to give us a couple $1,000 and we'll do that. We need people now helping us. There's so many, every week there's a breach, every week there's a new vulnerability, and we're talking about the major players, we're not talking about small firms. And we need people to be able to help build securely from the beginning, not to strap it on afterwards. And it's just, we don't have enough people with the basic understanding. So we need to just really educate them how easy it can be, how simple it can be if you do it early.
That's music to my ears. Thank you so much for your time, Chris. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem.